I would just like to bring up a question, bring up inquiry. I just want us to examine something. And I know, this Negro Angel Snub 7 always questioning black folks, always degrading us, making us feel bad, and etc., etc., etc. Well, let me tell you something. I have the right to question. I have the right to offer what is clearly observed. In fact, I am doing you a service, not a disservice, by showing you the error so that you can walk on or get on the right path that is described in religious teachings as found in the Quran. You pray every day, oh Allah, guide us on the right path. Who would not want to be on the right path? However, see, that the problem is some of you believe you're on the right path. And you don't want people to tell you, no, bruh, nah, sister, yeah, you close, but you're really not going in the right direction. You don't want to hear that because you think that you're already on the right path. But if you was on the right path, shouldn't you be where you claim you need to be? If I am on the right path going to McDonald's, then I should be eating a cheeseburger and fries, right? However, if the path does not lead to McDonald's and you do not see me with a Big Mac, then clearly, I mean, anyone with eyes can observe to see that you never went to McDonald's. So how are you going to get angry at someone and upset with people when you make a claim, I went to McDonald's, I went to Africa, I went to the mall, and there is no signs, there's nothing that you have, there's nothing that we can observe you to show that indeed you went to the mall, went to McDonald's, went to Africa. There are people who brag, I went to Africa. I don't know what that means, but you know, they got on a boat, they got on a plane, and they went to Africa. They want to show, I'm so Africanized. Y'all something else. But I'm not angry at you, and I could never get angry at you because I understand that we have been slaves and really technically still a slave going on 500 years. I mean, we're trying. But trying is not good enough. If you were drowning, trying not to drown is not enough because you're still drowning. You must do what is appropriate in order to save yourself from drowning. So, with that said, I want to examine this catchphrase. And I really would like, and y'all can teach me. I'm always open to being taught something. I'm not Mr. Know-it-all, and I can easily change my mind when something makes sense. If it don't make sense, if it does not pass the criteria of logic, common sense, being rational, and our reality, I have a problem with that. But I'm open. I'm always open-minded. Just like brothers and sisters came to me talking about that so-called black people in this country, we are the original Native Americans. And I rejected that idea at first. But the more I began to think about it, the more it makes sense. It's a combination of the two, because we cannot deny that some of our ancestors did come directly from that continent. Also, at the same time, we must understand that you can find dark-skinned people all over this planet. There is no place where these Europeans ever went where they reported they did not see dark-skinned people. So why didn't they see? Why all of a sudden they became red when they got here? They was dark-skinned or black everywhere else, but when they came to North America, all of a sudden it's the red man. Unless, of course, that red man really wasn't really red or copper, as some of y'all say. Nothing but a dark-skinned people with a red-looking hue instead of a dark blue or purple-looking hue like what you would find from those dark-skinned people coming from West Africa and places like that. So I'm open. I'm open to truth. That's what I'm interested in. I'm not interested in believing anything. I want to know what is true and come to that truth as close as possible as we can. This is the home of real truth. I am open to truth, not belief and what makes me feel good and all that kind of stuff. Okay, I have a few minutes. Let us talk about this catchphrase. I heard this catchphrase was coined by brother and Dr. Umar Abdullah Johnson. The catchphrase is, I am unapologetically black. I can't hardly say it. Some words twist my tongue. I'm sorry. Unapologetically black. He says that's something that he coined. People are using it. They don't want to give him the credit. Well, I would give him the credit because the first time I ever heard it was Dr. Johnson saying unapologetically black. That's where I first heard the phrase. Let's talk about that. The is the definite article. You know, I don't know why I said that. The is I am, meaning you, a person. Okay, let's just make this very simple. I am, that's you or me. When we say this, I am unapologetically, meaning I have no apology. I don't owe you nothing. This is what I mean. This is what I say. You know, if your feelings hurt too damn bad, I don't apologize. I am unapologetically. Okay, simple, right? Am I still? Are we still here? Are we still here? Okay, all right. Now to the black. I am unapologetically black. What does that mean? What is black? There are no dark-skinned people on this planet. And I just read a little bit from Wikipedia talking about black people. And some of y'all are scholars and y'all do your research. So you will find out prior to Europeans, there was no dark-skinned people that called themselves black. So when you say I am unapologetically black, what are you saying? Now, even in the early history of black, I would say call it black chattel slavery, the slavery of dark-skinned people in this nation called the United Snakes of America. The slaves called themselves by their tribes, Ashanti or Wolof or whatever. You know, if they came from Africa, they labeled themselves according to their tribes in the early history. But later on, as time progressed, all that disappeared, and now you have a people called black. Do you know why? Black is a breed of human beings. Black is a little bit of the Wolof, a little bit of Ashanti, a little bit of all kinds of dark-skinned people who were enslaved, forced to have a relationship due to slavery. They intermingle and interbred with one another. And of course, the slave master, the pink slave masters, raped the slaves. And so now you have a being that has no connection to the Caucasian people, no connection to the Wolof or the Ashanti or any other African tribe or native people that's here. You and I, we are a new breed of people born from slavery that was bred for the specific purpose of being a good slave. And we have done that, and we still are even till this day. Just like there are different kinds of horses. Some horses are bred to run. Some horses are bred to pull the plow. The black man was bred by the races in order to be the world's most perfect slave. And you still are today. That's why you cannot unite. That's why you can't get it together. That's why you holler talk about, I want to be free, but you really don't want to be free. Is because it is your nature. That's where you come from. You are a slave. So when you say, I am unapologetically black, you are saying, I am apologetically proud to be a slave. That's the bottom line. And when you say that you're African, you never specify. You never say, I'm Ghanaian, or I'm Congolese, I'm from Somali, or any African nation, I'm Ashanti. You always say just African because you know you don't belong nowhere. I am unapologetically black. I am unapologetically telling you I am proud to be a slave. Black power family, slave power family. There is no power in black because black, and if you just read a little bit of the Wikipedia definition of black people, you will see that black is always connected to slavery, the enslavement, the exploitation of somebody, because that's what it is. You and I, we are a creation races. We are a complex mulatto. There is no pure black person. You are a product of race mixing. Mixing between dark-skinned people and, of course, a little splash of Caucasian. That's why there are so many different shades and we look so different. Some of us do look like West Africans and then some of us don't. Some of us look like Native Americans. Some of us even look Chinese. We all mixed up. I am unapologetically black. You think you're going to get power from the embracing something that was made to take power away from you. And you can get angry all that I want. Your actions and your behaviors support exactly what black is. You act like a slave, think like a slave. You move like a slave. And you have accepted this label given to you by your massa. So you can change your name all you want to. You can be Hotep, Allah, whatever. And you can be Tony Bay, Zulu, or whatever you want to call it. When it's all said and done, as long as you use that word black, you are nothing but a slave. You are still property of your slave massa. Black power and all this African, that's another word that comes from racism, racist. You can say all that stuff, all that you want to, but when it's all said and done, the only thing you're really telling the world is, I am proud to be a slave. And that's all you will ever be. I unapologetically am happy to be an eternal slave forever. Oh man, I have a lot to say, so please bear with me. I have a lot to cover in 15 minutes, and I hope that you can understand exactly what I am trying to present within this brief moment that I really, really enjoy speaking with you within. Now, the topic that I've chosen is we want to talk about a group of black people. They don't have a label, but we're going to give them a label today. And you may know some of them. In fact, you may be one of them. Someone, it is not my label, but I heard someone give a description and gave a label to these type of persons with this mindset, and they called them pro-black revolutionary integrationists. The pro-black integrationist revolutionary. How can you be pro-black and an integration? Well, let's talk about it. I want to make clear from this rostrum, I want to make perfectly clear, I am and I represent separation. I am a separatist. I do not advocate integration, segregation. I represent a 1000% exodus away from Caucasian people. Not because we hate the white man, because it is in the best interest of both parties. You have only two choices. You can either take over the government, or either you can exodus. Well, brother, you know we can't take over the government. That's impossible. Well, first of all, you have not tried. Second of all, there are many ways that you can take over the government. If you what? Use your brain. Be creative in what you wish to do. But see, you're not. You don't use your brain. You're emotional and you lack creativity. Also, when you're talking about taking over the government and you do not have the physical might in order to do such a thing, then you must be creative in your strategy. And what must also be understood is that if you begin the process, you don't necessarily have to be alive. Listen to me. You don't have to be alive. Just begin the process. Just make your children, your progeny, those who come after you, make them to understand what the process is. And next thing you know, you have taken over the government. You still have a slave mentality. You don't think like a free person. You are emotional. You only think for the moment. You have tunnel vision. You cannot plan. You cannot make a strategy and look down the future 25 years ahead of yourself when there's a big possibility you will be dead. The reason why Caucasian people have been so successful in this world domination is because they have the ability to look 25, 50, maybe even 100 years in the future. But since the so-called Negro, the descendants of slaves born in America, having dark skin, who once called themselves the people of soul in this nation, because you still have a slave mentality, you have not evolved that far. But yet at the same time, you're always screaming, I want my own nation. I want to be free. Free to do what? You're not qualified to be free. What you gonna do? You have the mentality of a dog, not calling us dogs, of course, but we have the mentality of a dog locked up in a house, and you open the door and the dog just running. The dog is just happy to be free. The dog has no plan. The dog does not know what to do with the new freedom. that it has is just running. And that's what you've been doing since the time of Abraham Lincoln, President Abraham Lincoln. That's all you've been doing is running. And you did not even run to each other. This group of slaves went this way. This group of slaves went that way. You are called a people, but you have never come together as a people. Because if you were a people, then there would be no black gender war. Because the black woman would know her role. The black man would know his role. The black children would know their role in the society created by a people. They understand their culture. But you're nothing but what my brother, the prophet of truth, always say. We are nothing but some feral animals. We're nothing who have yet to return or become once again into our original wild state. We're just some pets that somebody released into the wild. Some of us have died in that transition. And those of us who have survived, we still depend upon the one who opened the door and let us out. So we always come back with our tails wagging at the door. And this sucks. I don't like it. Many of you might like going back to your massa wagging your tail. But at the same time, you want to be free. You want to be respected as a man, but you don't act and behave like a free people. You don't act like real men and real women. You still behave like children. And that's why they still call you boy. That's why they call you boy and girls. It is not about hate of the white man. It is the best solution, again, for both parties. It is not about hate at all. Been there, done that. That's over with. Some people think that I may perhaps be like the people we're going to talk about in just a few minutes. The pro-black integrationist revolutionary. I am not that. Some view me like that because I am just. I am fair. Regardless whether you gave me justice or not, I'm going to treat you fair. I'm going to give you justice. And you think that's in some kind of way loving the enemy, loving the people who done this evil to us. No, it is being a human being, and that is something that was taken away from you. You are an animal running around here filled with this rage, filled with this hate. And because you have all this emotion, you have all this hate, and you don't know what to do, you just lashing out. This would be seen in an individual as a mental illness. And that's exactly what it is. You are not mentally fit. And since you're not mentally fit, it is impossible for you to build your nation. You don't have the right mentality. You're still a slave. You still suffer from great trauma. You have not gotten over, which it is not expected that you get over, but you do not know how to function although you suffer great trauma. This is a serious problem. But again, I want to make very perfectly clear that this ministry, this rostrum, does not advocate integration. This ministry does not advocate segregation. This ministry advocates separation, 1000% exodus from this nation, or use your brain. Be wise, be smart. Understand what you're dealing with. Understand the systems that these people use. Use those systems. Create a strategy whereas 50 years from now, you have taken over the government. And they don't even know what you're doing. They will be living the process and don't see that's what's happening to them. If you use your brain. You don't know how to use your brain. You don't know how to use your strategy. You don't know, oh wow. Some things you should say in the public and some things you should not. What they say, never let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Y'all understand. Because then your enemy, since they know what your strategy is, then they will try to counteract what you're doing. But really, if you do it right, I truly don't believe there's nothing they can do about it. Nothing. But that's another story. So now, since Angel Snub Nub 7 represents an exodus, since Angel Snub Nub 7 represents a separation, then some of you may wonder why, how come the black conscious community, why doesn't black conscious folks, why don't they embrace Angel Snub Nub 7? Well, to be quite honest, many of them are pro-black revolutionary integrationists. And we're going to talk about that real quick. But one of their main problems is that the Reality's temple on earth does not advocate African, does not advocate black, does not advocate Nubian, does not advocate all this black conscious scholarship stuff that these people have adopted and embraced. And the reason why I reject Kemet, the reason why I reject Moorish and the Islam, all this stuff, is because it is fabricated. It is not you. It is not us. You're trying to make or give an identity, which that's cool. You're trying to give yourself an identity, but you're going backwards. You're trying to be somebody that you're not. There is no connection to black people in America, these who are the descendants of slaves, having dark skin. There is no connection, no direct connection, nor can you show a contribution of the so-called Negro in America to Kemet. There is none. We did not exist. In fact, when you talk about black, I don't know what you mean by being black. Well, actually, I do. I don't think you understand what black is. Black is a product of races. The Caucasian people took a certain group of dark-skinned people, blended them together, plus he raped us and created a black from the African, from the natives that was already here. Wherever the dark people came from, we don't know. It's all up in the air. We really don't know. But we do know that black consists of a mixing of all these dark-skinned people and, of course, the Caucasian himself. He needed to breed a product that was the perfect slave. That's the bottom line. You have become a new species. Just like a horse, there are different kinds of horses. They were bred, one horse was bred to race, one horse was bred to pull a plow. You and I was bred to be the perfect slave, and you continue to prove that point. You and I continue to behave and act like the perfect slave. That is what black is. I don't know what other positive thing that you're trying to make black out of is false. That is not what black is. Your imaginary black. Wow, my 15 minutes was over that quick. Well, welcome to part 2. I thought for sure I could say what I wanted to say within 15 minutes. Well, sometimes things just do not go the way you think they should go. But I guess I have a lot to explain here. Now, let us continue. Part 2. Our subject is the pro-black, integrationist, revolutionary. The title itself contradicts itself. But where I left off speaking, I was talking about why isn't the black conscious community, since I am a separatist, since I do not advocate segregation, I advise that we exodus or take over the government. Why doesn't the so-called black conscious community embrace Angel Snub Nub 7? And it is because I reject these labels and these descriptions of us as Africans and black and Moor and Muslims and all this stuff that y'all come up with, of which I understand, because you need an identity. But the time has come, you don't need those things no more. And they don't fit you. That's why we look insane trying to be something that we are not. We look insane trying to put a square peg in a round hole. We look insane trying to be something that we are not and have never been. You say that the Caucasian people are guilty of stealing other people's history, and you do the same thing. I don't want to be a Moor. I don't want to be a Kemet. I don't want to be a Muslim. I don't want to be a Hebrew Israelite. I want to get to know who I am and be myself. And myself is not none of these things. I don't want nobody's hand-me-downs. I don't want no hand-me-down history. I don't care how good it's supposed to be. I don't care how fantastical it's supposed to be. Oh, the Egyptians did this, and they just don't have nothing to do with me. The Egyptians, the people of Kemet, did not hand you nothing. They don't know nothing about you. The American black people did not exist 5,000 years ago. And you're always grabbing or gravitating toward those who don't exist. You can claim and plagiarize their history and steal their history because there's none of them around to say you're a liar. There are over 50 nations in Africa. You don't claim none of them. Why? Because you can't control the information. Why? Because chances are they will call you a liar. That's not Somali. That's not of the Twa people. That's not Congolese. The living African people will tell you quick, that's not us. In fact, you're not related to us. You don't want to hear all that because you live this you have this imaginary fantasy delusions that you made up for yourself. So let me adopt being a Moor. Let me adopt being a Hebrew Israelite or of Kemet, because ain't nobody is alive that can say otherwise. And you want to control this information. You want to control the scholarship so that you can get paid. What I'm talking about, you can't control. I mean, you can get paid. I mean, you can sell almost anything. But it's not about getting paid. It's about 1,000% liberation of the mind. It's about your being able to use common sense. So if you begin to depend on common sense, if you begin to embrace your reality, scholarship don't mean nothing. I just want to be free. Look at all the books. Look at all the scholarship these people use and present to you every day. How close are you to the door of being liberated? You're still right here living with racists. And you better get up on Monday and go to your job Otherwise, you will starve. And then when you get home, you have all the latest DVDs of books of black conscious scholarship. You have all that at your house, and it don't mean nothing. It means nothing at all. You want to be free? You truly want to be liberated? It begins with the mind. Clear your mind from all that stuff. There's no black or more that taught you anything. It's fabricated, made up stuff that somebody created. No more taught you nothing. Nobody from Egypt, nobody from Kemet taught you nothing. There is no black Hebrew Israelite that taught you anything. Nothing. All of it is fabricated, manufactured, and made up. And it sounds good because in the back of your mind, you're really still a Christian. The only thing you've done is replace Christianity. You still have that mentality of being a Christian. And so now you believe you're more. You believe you're a Hebrew Israelite. It still takes belief because it's a lie. It's a lie that you force your brain to believe. I'm a Muslim. The only thing you are is a Muslim or Arab wannabe. Slowly but surely, that's all that you're going to be is an Arab wannabe. I don't want to be an Arab. I don't want to be a Kemetic. I don't want to be a Moor. I want to be myself. Don't you have a brain? Can't you think for yourself? All these things was created by people that had brains. That's where it comes from. It comes from your brain. You don't understand yourself? You got to hunger for somebody's leftovers? What the Moors left over? What Egypt left over? What the Arabs left over? I want fresh food. I can pick my own corn. I can harvest my own rice. Raise my own cows and chickens. I don't want somebody's leftovers. Stop giving me stuff in a can. I don't want your frozen foods. The best food on the planet is fresh food. You eat frozen food when you don't have a choice. You eat stuff out of cans because you don't have a choice. The best food is fresh food. I don't want 5,000-year-old stuff in a can. I don't want stuff 2,000 years old in a can frozen in time. I don't want stuff like that. How can you be happy? How could you even enjoy being a free person, being a liberated person with somebody's hand-me-down? Don't you remember some of us who grew up in large families? You love your brother. You love your sisters, but you did not like their hand-me-down. You wanted your own clothes. You wanted your own clothes so you can feel good about yourself. Because this is you. I'm wearing my brother's shirt. You know, my brother's pants. He used to wear these pants. And nobody wants that. There's nothing like having your own. And you were on your way to your own naturally. Back in the 70s, when you call yourself soul brothers and sisters, the people of soul, and you develop Soul Train and soul food and soul music. It was all about the soul. You was on your way, and there's nobody who can claim that culture, that what you was creating yourself. Nobody. When even right now, when you talk about soul, there's only one people that you can gravitate to, and that is these who are the descendants of slaves born in America having dark skin. Nobody else. The Arabs can't claim it. The Moors can't claim it. Egypt can't claim it. I want my own. And you can make it as great as you want to make it. You can be greater than Kemet, greater than the Moors, greater than Arabs, all these people of whom you foam at the mouth. You can be better. In fact, really, if you embrace yourself, you right now, there are many ways that you are great and you can feel good about yourself. Who's the best basketball players on the planet? The people of soul. The best entertainers. But really, we're good at everything that we do. You don't have to go back 5,000 years, 2,000 years. We are great at everything that we do. But unfortunately, when we want to act stupid and foolish and silly, we are great at doing that also. But that will leave us, it's just a matter of time as we grow up. As we grow up. This is the reason why the Black conscious scholarship community, whatever, that's why they reject Angel Snub 7, because they want to be able to control the information. They want to be able to sell you books and DVDs, and they want you to look up to them like they know so much. Once you begin to liberate your mind, understand who you are, and get on that path, you don't need Angel Snub 7 no more. And I'm very happy with that. It's just like when you are trying to teach somebody how to ride a bike. Show them how to get on that bike. Show them how to get their balance. Show them how to spin the wheel. Help them keep that bike balance. Show them how to turn the handlebars. Give them a good shove off. Let them spin the wheel. Next thing you know, they off on their own. And when you become off on your own, when you are able to ride that bike without training wheels, there is no more need for a reality temple on earth. So, thus, no need for books, DVDs, and all this scholarship. You are a free man and woman. You don't need a black slave master, and you don't need a Caucasian slave master. You need to be free. You don't need to be dependent upon nobody. I have to wait for the next black scholarship debate to get knowledge. What does that knowledge do for you? It does not do nothing for you anyway, except make you feel good. What does the pastor do? Just make you feel good. And you still in your house with all Jesus on the wall, black scholarship books and DVDs all over your house, and you still a Negro slave. That is not what this ministry represents. This ministry is serious as a heart attack. You and I need to be free. Let us get ready to talk about a faction of our people who is worse than these. They don't like me. But, you know, as you can see, they really don't bother me. They don't talk about me because they don't want you to come my way. Even when I talk about them, they don't really mess with me. They don't want you to hear what is coming from this rostrum, because this rostrum is dedicated to 1000% liberation of the mind. I'm not looking to make you praise me. I'm not looking to looking for you to buy DVDs and come to my lecture. I'm not looking for celebrity. I want you and me and our children to be 1000% liberated from racist and ignorant Negroes. That's why black conscious folks can't get with Angel Snub 7. I want you to be you, not somebody that they trying to force you or make you believe that you are, and you really are not them, and you shouldn't want to be like them. Be yourself. Wow. Part 3. I thought I could say this in 15 minutes. We going on 45 minutes. Wow. Well, can I take a little time? I know this is important. I do not want to make you a slave. I'm not interested in no form of slavery. We had enough of that. I'm tired of us worshiping people, idolizing people. The hell with them. Love yourself. Be yourself. I appreciate that you might like Angel Snubbing Up 7, and you know it's even all right that you give your brother a little praise. It's cool to show adoration and appreciation when somebody has come to help us. But please don't cross the line. I am not God. I'm not a prophet. I'm not none of these things. I'm just your little brother that wants to see us free. Just like Malcolm just wanted to see us free. Dr. King just wanted us to go to the promised land that he knew he could not go. Let's talk about a faction of our people called the pro-black integrationists. Everybody that has dark skin, including these black conscious scholarship suckers who you trust, everybody that has dark skin is not your friend. I don't care what they say. I don't care what they do. I don't care how they talk. We have to understand that some people come among us and they are looking out just for themselves. They are faking the funk. It's all about them. It's all about me. I'm the greatest. I heard a brother say something to the effect, anyway, he's praising himself. It's all about, this is not about me. This ministry does not belong to me. Because I do not control, and I am not the creator of liberation. I'm not the creator. It is natural that you want to be free. It is natural that you want to be liberated from an oppressor. I don't own that. You deserve it. What we need to do is try to find the correct and appropriate manner in order so that you can be a true, free, adult man and woman. And take your children with you. Y'all have lots of children. The pro-black integrationists. There is a faction among us, and I'm not going to really say that they are the enemy, but they are confused. Just like this title, this label. How can you be pro-black anti-integrationist? And a revolutionary at that. You will hear these type of black people, I prefer to say the descendants of slaves born in America having dark skin, that used to call themselves the people of soul, but they are confused, really. But again, going back to what we said prior, we still have a slave mentality. We don't think like a free people. We act like little children. We act like beggars. The pro-black revolutionary integrationists, some of them, they sound, and they even use the profile of people like Malcolm X. And we know that Malcolm X was a separatist. Malcolm X was like myself. This is Malcolm X right here. I represent the real Malcolm X. Malcolm X did not advocate integration or even segregation. Malcolm X, regardless if he was with Elijah Muhammad or when he left the Nation of Islam, Malcolm X understood who the enemy was, and he was a revolutionary, willing, if necessary, to take up arms. An integrationist is not interested in taking up arms to go to war with the enemy. Malcolm X was ready to go to war if necessary with the powers that be. It's simple as that. And the pro-black integrationist revolutionaries, they talk big, but you, sir, you, ma'am, are no Malcolm X. The pro-black integrationists, the reality is they love the enemy. They love the United Snakes of America. They love this world. The only problem is, Massa, I's good. Why you treat me like this, Massa? If you are not telling so-called black people in this nation that the best solution is separation, then you are not a friend to them. This is what they would tell you. Well, look, I'm an American. I don't have to separate. I'm an American citizen. My people, we died in America and all this. And this is true. This is true. But you also have to look at the reality of the situation. I will give you a very simple, quick example. Now, we are roommates. The Caucasian people and the so-called black folks, we are roommates in this country. So I'm going to use roommates as an example. Now, we are roommates. The rent is $300 a month. Man, that's some cheap rent, ain't it? The rent is $300 a month. Now, I pay my $150, you pay your $150. Sometimes I pay more than $150 because sometimes my roommate don't have all his rent. That's the situation we have living in America. The roommate is eating all the food. The Caucasian people are the majority. They are the ones who use the majority of the resources, yet at the same time, we pay the same amount of taxes, if not more. That's the situation. It's a roommate situation that is not fair. It is not just. So they eating all the food. They have the air conditioning and the heat on all the time, raising the utility bills. How long are you going to stay in this type of situation? You're not. You're going to go to your roommate and say, look, man, I pay equal rent. You get your friends are here all the time. You keep the apartment nasty. All kinds of strangers going in and out of the apartment all night. You know, this is not going to work. I pay equal rent. And your roommate, man, get there. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear about slavery. I don't want to hear about reparations. I don't want to hear about what black folks suffer. See, that's the situation that we living in. And so, in this scenario, what will you do? Are you going to continue to try to integrate? No, you're not. You're going to separate. Because if you don't separate, you're going to end up knocking this nuts block off. Something bad is going to happen. Something bad has happened to the so-called Negro in this country going on 500 years. We have been lynched. We've been raped. You've been a slave for 300 years. You suffered under the black codes and Jim Crow. Something bad is, this relationship is bad. So your best bet is to leave. But you have the pro-black integrationists. They want to force you and make you think, because they are stupid. They have a slave mentality. Things gonna get better. How things gonna get better with a roommate that don't respect you? These people do not respect you. You've fallen in love and obsessed with people who don't love you at all. They don't respect you at all. So here they are. They supposed to be, they try to paint themselves as pro-black. Some of them tell you outright how attractive Caucasian men and women look. Oh man, they are racist, but I sure would love to sleep with them, kiss on them, lick on them. Wow. They are a delicious lollipop. They are not pro-black at all. Where is the pro-blackness in it? Cause they want Massa to treat them better. Don't treat us like that, Massa. Wagging your tail at the door. Don't want to be free. Don't know how to be. So let them be who they are. Let them be slaves. Let them be. But for those of us who have evolved to a higher level, everything that you do, everything that you think about 24 hours a day must be directed towards an exodus. It must be about separation, not segregation, separation, an exodus, or take over the government. If necessary, take up arms if you think that you can do it. See, that's the problem. You don't think you can do nothing. You think that you really are so helpless. You won't use your brain. That's why you love all this more Kemet Muslim stuff. Because in that world, this world, this false world that you created in, that's where you really live. It's like a dope addict. But sooner or later, you come off that high and you have to face reality. That's why you buy more books, more DVDs. Get on Facebook. Find some good posts. Keep yourself on a high. It's false. It's not real. You're not living a real life. Oh man, have you ever seen a bird fly in the sky? Have you ever looked out in the field and watched rabbits hop? These creatures are free. You have no idea. We have never lived not 1 minute without being under the control of racists. You can talk freedom all that you want to. That's all that it is talk. And really, I understand also that to be free is a scary thing, because you've never been out of your massa house, really. It's scary. And what makes it even more scary, you have to depend on one another. And you don't like me because you are more. You don't like me because I'm from Kemet.